So the other day, and I really do mean the other day, this is from July 10th, we saw ourselves this video that went viral on Twitter. It is of Matt Rempe, New York Rangers forward, depth forward, I guess we should say instead, and George Laraque going out there on the ice and training how to uppercut. This is a pretty badass video. And it really is one of these things where it's like, yeah, you show a tough guy how to be a tough guy, how a tough guy's gotta train. You can say this is kind of the thing, right? Matt Rempe is going out there and doing what the Matt Rempe does, baby. He's working on his fighting. And what I wanted to do in this video was kind of, respond to it. Because there's a lot of stuff going out there and, you know, bringing itself up as to whether or not Matt Rempe boxing, practicing this in the off-season, doing this with George Laraque and having it filmed and put on social media, whether or not this really is a good thing, quote-unquote. Let's use the Twitters to go out there and give us a sentiment that a bunch of people seem to be aligning with. Here's the first reply on this Twitter video. I understand this part of the game, but shouldn't he be focused on other things? He fed that glove so many rights it was begging for a left, most complete player in the NHL. Maybe George Laraque can teach Rempe how to hit without leaving his skates too. Yeah, okay, that's kind of a big burn there by Semi-Automatic Dave. I think I'd just hire a pro boxer. Perhaps he should work on playing actual hockey. Meanwhile, back in Planet Earth, reports of the Predators' original captain passing away due to CTE have surfaced. This is just another reminder that the league continues to treat CTE lightly. If all he can do is fight, the Rangers won't win a cup, but the East is bulking up. I hate the way the league is right now. Dirty team wins a Stanley Cup, salary cap only grows by $1 million. There are a lot of people going out there and talking about why this is a bad thing. And I wanted to give some comments and 2 cents on this as well, because as I said in a video a few months ago, we did actually talk about this, how Matt Rempe and the situation with New York, how he's being used and how he's being marketed, could be seen as pretty dangerous. Not for like you or me or for the sport, I guess. Okay, maybe to an extent the sport, but to Matt Rempe himself. This is a guy who, as a 2026 round pick, should be a fantastic story. He is a fantastic story. You never see 2020 late round picks make it in the NHL and have some sort of a huge cultural impact like Matt Rempe has had. I don't even know why I said 2020 late round picks, just late round picks in general. 6th round guy, especially one who was taken only 4 years ago. Back when he was drafted in the 2020 NHL Entry Draft, he was just slightly over half a point a game for the Seattle Thunderbirds. But guess what? He was huge. That's why he got drafted. He had these physical tools. That's why the Rangers took a chance on him. And as his career progressed, he sort of started to score. He didn't really score as much, honestly, with the WHL Seattle Thunderbirds in the years after, but he did make the Hartford Wolfpack. He did have himself an impact over there, and then he got called up, not because he is this good point producer, but because he is that brute. And him going out there, laying guys out, elbowing people in the head, you can say partly, oh, it's because he's big, that's why he accidentally does that more often than he should. You could also say it's carelessness. You could also say that it's the way that Matt Rempe has been coached, or he's been told how to play in a way where he's getting into fights with everybody, he's fisticuffing it up with everybody on site, and in a way, it could be seen as dangerous. This is a Twitter reply to the video that we had seen of Matt Rempe sparring with George Laraque. Take a look at this. This was posted by Aaron Manning Writes. They say, I know some people may not agree, and that's fine, but I do not like what's being done to this kid. I don't think this ends well. This video, or this tweet, excuse me, had 500,000 views and 2,000 likes. I've tried to engage in civil replies. Okay, we're going to mute that. We're not going to look at that. I feel like he's trying to prove he deserves a roster spot by pretty much getting his face knocked in every game, and that's going to end badly one day. That's exactly it. And on top of that, the team seems to be deliberately marketing him to satisfy that bloodlust element among the older fans who think hockey has gone too soft, and who cheer like crazy when this kid is on the ice because they're hoping for the fisticuffs. A reply says, I mean, I get it. I think there's a fight every once in a while, like that's sort of the thing here, but it's like every time he steps onto the ice, it feels like he's dropping the gloves. And I don't know if it's like fan pressure or team pressure or what have you, but this is a terrible precedent to set for your young players. Sadly, I do think a lot of it comes from the team. Now, there is a devil's advocate point of view that I do think is appropriate to bring up here as well. It's labeled in the next tweet. Stop. Nobody in that locker room is telling him that he has to fight. He's fighting because he enjoys the spotlight and he wants to pump the crowd up. And that's sort of why when some of these extra replies talk about, oh yeah, no, that's just him trying to make the team. Matt Rempe is trying to make the team by showcasing his physical fighting ability because, I mean, let's be honest, there isn't really anything else that he does all too well. I mean, he moves well for a big guy. He's able to really open up space for a big guy, which is, not surprising. But everything else, I mean, the hits, the physicality, the penalties, it gets in the way at times. And when you have that player on the ice as I don't want to use the word distraction, but it's almost like a distraction. Every time he's on the ice, the opposing team is expected a fight to go down. Every time he's on the ice, he's preparing himself to get more black eyes. This is sort of where you think about, hey, is the NHL or are the New York Rangers putting this 22-year-old guy in the best position to succeed for his career and for the long term? Because if Matt Rempe is getting into a fight literally like every game or so, he's getting his head knocked in there, he's getting bloody, he's getting black eyes, and he's just continuously getting punches to the head over and over again, you gotta start thinking about what the damage could be there. Like, I'm not saying that he's gonna get CTE or whatever, but like, hockey has been one of those sports that has been really notorious for developing these kinds of issues in its players long after their retirements. And I think at some point you have to start realizing that the way these players choose to conduct themselves can play into that. Sure, like, it's not Matt Rempe's prerogative to go out there and get hit or get punched in the head. He's not aiming for that, but when he opens the door to fighting with all these guys and he's elbowing guys in the head, he's answering the bell, he's answering the whistle every time, then you have to start saying, okay, well, maybe a part of this is his own decision-making. Maybe a part of this is the Rangers saying to the guy, hey, if you want to stick around with this team, you don't have any goal-scoring ability, you don't have much point production ability, you don't do too much else on the power play or whatever. If you want to make this team, you have to be that brute. You have to be that physical guy. We need you to do this, or else you don't have any other purpose. At that point, you start thinking, is this the right way to manage a young player in a hockey team? Who really knows? So as a result, I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit worried about this entire thing. It feels very odd. Here's another reply going out there saying this. Sad thing is, Matt Rempe, he'll be out of the league in 3 to 4 years, but he'll live with the consequences of fighting for the rest of his life. Clearly, it's a bargain that he is willing to make. So at the end of the day, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If I'm being unreasonable here by expressing my worry about the Matt Rempe situation in New York. Now, are we overreacting to a video of him fighting with George Laraque? Maybe, but at the same time, we literally don't know anything else that he's training on this offseason at all. This is the only thing we have seen, and it's of him uppercutting a bag on George Laraque's fist while skating circles on a practice rink. This is not normal NHL practice behavior. This is just, learning how to fight. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Matt Rempe, this entire situation, and whether or not you agree or disagree with my assessment here. Do you think that this is fine? Do you think Matt Rempe is setting himself up for success or failure down the line? And where exactly is that line? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this British Astros 9. And bye.